What's going on, everyone? This is the Popcorn Heroes review of The Five Bloods, a Netflix movie.
A Spike Lee joint.
A Spike Lee joint. I am Armando. With me, as always, is Pedro. What's going on, buddy?
Hello. Good, man. Good. How about you?
I'm chilling. You know, throughout the whole time, I'm watching this movie, and it always felt to me like Chadwick Boseman was talking his Wakanda accent. Every so often, it felt like it came out, and I'm just like, I am the Black Panther in Vietnam.
There was definitely some accents spitting out, but I couldn't quite tell what it was. But there was something bleeding in there.
Yeah, I don't know if he was trying to do a New Yorker accent. It came out like something else. I don't know what's going on there.
Well, I just saw him in the other one. What was the other one? 21 Bridges. And he had a good normal accent there. So when I heard him in this, I'm like, I don't know what you're doing. There's something there. And I couldn't quite get what it was. Because he did a New York accent in 21 Bridges. I thought that was good.
Where did you see 21 Bridges? Because I've been wanting to see that.
Oh, Netflix disc. My parents had it. And I was like, ooh, I'll watch it with you.
Yeah. So, as usual, we do spoiler free at the beginning. Then we go into the spoilers. But as every review episode starts, Pedro, the premise.
All right. So it's been a while since I've seen it, but from what I remember, the film's plot, it follows a group of aged Vietnam War vets who return to Vietnam to reunite and search for the remains of their leader and some buried treasure. That's the gist.
Yeah, that's it, man. Good job, Pedro. Loved it. Great premise.
No problem.
Man, as usual. Now, let's get into our very short thoughts and 1 out of 5. Pedro.
Gotcha. All right. I give it a 2.5. The reason why is it's not quite bad, but it's not quite good. It's to me, it was so because personally, I thought the first half of the movie was excellent. I actually really enjoyed the first half. The second half is where it totally fell apart. Like, to me, it fell apart completely. It was like two different movies almost. And it felt very low budget. It felt like a B movie. Once you get to some of the more effects, I was like, why did they use digital effects when they could have used a practical effect? And obviously, it had to do with budget. And I thought some of the acting was awesome and some of the acting was not good. So it was just, I don't know. It felt like there was a lot of good things and a lot of bad things going on. And that's why it felt almost like a patchwork movie to me. But yeah, man, like I said, I love the plot of the first half, the acting, everything, the characters. Second half, I don't know what it was, but it just felt like it was a totally other movie going on. And I wasn't a fan of that. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend it overall. It's definitely one of Spike Lee's weakest. I haven't seen all of his movies, but as of right now, like for example, I haven't seen his Old Boy. A lot of people didn't like his Old Boy.
Well, it was trash.
But I would say out of all the movies I've seen of his, this is definitely my least favorite.
Yeah.
So
I would agree with that rating that you at 2.5. Like I said, it wasn't a bad movie, but it was just super overhyped. I think it is. It's definitely not a masterpiece like everyone was saying it was.
Absolutely.
Absolutely not. It's better than The Irishman if we're comparing overhyped Oscar bait Netflix movies. I think it is better than The Irishman.
I'm going to disagree on that one.
Damn.
I think Irishman's better.
Oof.
Not by a lot. But yeah, man, it's definitely not better than Irishman.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy Irishman at all, man. The whole time I was watching, I was extremely bored. And in this movie, I was at least somewhat entertained, and I loved how the movie looked, cinematography-wise. The camera angles, the way the camera movements on the movie, especially like you said in the beginning of the movie, all that shit was fucking perfect. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful movie.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed the acting. I really enjoyed the age jump. You know how they were going back into the past and it's still their older selves. I really like that. And compared to The Irishman, where they de-aged everybody, This movie definitely
Yes.
didn't have the budget to de-age everybody, and I think that's the reason why they went
Right.
that way. And I think Spike
Yes.
Lee did say that, but I actually enjoyed
Yeah.
that better. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed that factor.
I have a little thing about that, but yes, I agree with that part. But when we get into it a little bit more, you'll see what I mean about that scene.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's it. That's pretty much what I thought. I mean, I don't think it was a masterpiece. I think it's extremely overhyped. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. But I mean, if you're a fan of Spike Lee and you've seen all his movies, you might as well see this. But I wouldn't tell somebody to actively search for this movie and go out there and watch it. I think there's better shit out there on Netflix that you could watch and that is more enjoyable than this. But as without further ado, let's get into the spoilers of this movie. Pedro, you said you wouldn't recommend it, true?
Correct. I would not recommend it.
And I would not recommend it. So, if you've seen the movie, stick around. If not, pause it, come back. Or if you don't care because we said this movie sucked and you just want to see what we thought, so stick around. Spoilers ahead.
Spoilers ahead.
Spoilers. All right, Pedro. So what is it? What was the part you're saying about the older gentleman?
Oh, okay. So I agreed with you. I did like how the flashback scenes was still them, and it was almost like a dream sequence of them remembering the quote unquote better days.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh man, when we were a nice brotherhood, we were all like, fuck the government, Black Power, we're together, we're badasses, we don't die, we multiply,
Yeah.
So it was them living their old days. And I'm like, you know what? I kind of like that it was them still old. But they kind of ruined it when they looked at the photograph at the end, and it's just them with some shitty makeup or something, or some digital. And I'm like, no,
it was digital.
You should have just recasted some people just to pose for a photo and call it a day. Again, that's a minor thing compared to all the other stuff in the film, but it kind of ruined it for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is just these motherfuckers with some stretch Botox skin.
Yeah, it killed it at the very, and that was like one of the last frames of the movie too.
It was one of the that to me solidified that the movie went downhill. Now, whenever they did the flashbacks, I thought the choreography was absolute dog shit. I thought the special effects were shitty. Like, even when they're shooting, there was no muzzle flashes. It was just like, I don't know. And then of course the CG blood, just everything just looks so B movie. I was like, what the fuck? This is so cheaply done.
The battle
So
sequence
bad.
was by far one of the worst filmed sequences of that movie, because
For
up to
sure.
that point it looked amazing, but for some reason the battle, I was confused half of the time where everybody was, what was happening. It was just a very confusing set of events that I was just like, I don't know what's happening here at all.
No, totally. I felt that if it was going to be that badly done, you might as well not just not have done it. You might as well have just, I don't even know, just do flashback scenes without the battle, and then when the battle came, you can just just talk about it. Like, oh yeah, and then we were here, and then I don't know. But just skip the battle altogether, because all the fight scenes were garbage. Even near the end, when they were fighting in the present time, I was like, all of this is shit.
That one felt very fake. It felt like an action movie.
It felt like a B
over the top
80s action movie. Yeah. I was like, yo, this is straight out of an 80s B movie, bad action flick. Everything. Just the plot of it too. The whole last stand, the betrayal. I was just like, this is so bad, dude. And they got my boy, the professional, over there acting as like this typical mustache twirling villain. I'm like, nah, dude. That shit sucks. Yeah, the second half of this movie was dog shit to me.
I think it was just stupid. The whole betrayal was dumb. The guy he was losing it. He lost it at the end. I'm just like after all these years, you're losing it now.
Wait, you're talking about the friend?
Yeah, dude.
Oh no, you're thinking about like Delroy Lindo, the blood that lost his mind?
Yeah, man.
Oh right, yeah, after the money. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so here's the thing. I thought the movie was great up until the point where they find the gold. Once they find the gold, I had Triple Frontier flashbacks. Where I'm like, oh no, this is one of those movies like, now everyone's fighting about it. Everyone's like untrusting each other. And I'm like, nah, dude, that's not what this movie's about, man. To me, the movie wasn't. If it would have been not about the gold, or maybe it was about the gold and maybe the gold wasn't there. That was the twist. They're like, oh no, the gold's gone. Well, at least we got our boy and we bonded. That would have been a way better film.
A very straightforward movie.
Very straightforward. I loved, so the first half, the reason why I thought the first half was so fucking good is because it showed these guys with this mentality of like, you know, like how war does. It makes you racist. You know, like you're always like, oh man, fuck these, what do they call them? The gooks.
Yeah.
That was, yeah, they're there and then they're eating there and they're like, oh yeah, you know, we whooped your ass or whatever. But then there's that part where the old Vietnamese dudes, also vets, buy them the drink. And then they're like, oh, yeah, we fought with them. They're like, no, they fought for the North. They were your enemies. And it kind of showed that they still had like that respect that, oh, you know, we were like warriors or whatever. Yeah. I don't know. I just like that whole idea of revisiting a post-Vietnam War, or like how the Vietnamese called it, the American War, a post-American War of Vietnam. And just them trying to deal with their PTSD, just everything. And then this guy trying to deal with him having his daughter with the fling he had with the girl. Like there was so much good shit involved there. Like everyone had something they were going through except for the shit guy. He was the only one that had he had no story.
Nah, he just wanted a party.
He had no arc. Dude, he had no arc whatsoever. And I thought that was slacking, dude. He needed an arc just like everyone else. Everyone else had an arc.
Yeah.
Now, back to that, Delroy Lindo, which was Paul, which was the MAGA hat dude, I thought he carried this movie.
Oh, he did. He did. Until the end for me.
His acting was fucking awesome. The fact that he was still going through PTSD, that he was going through the anger issues, that it ruined, you know, like post-war ruined his family, his relationship with his son. I'm like,
it's the guilt, dude. It's the guilt. The guilt killed him.
The survivor's guilt.
Yeah, but the guilt is that technically he killed the guy. He killed him. Chadwick. Right. So that destroyed him. Because I think if it was just because everybody else went through the same thing as he did, but for him, he was like, I killed this guy, even if it was by mistake. I killed him. So that literally destroyed him. I think that ate him up mentally and emotionally, and he was never the same after that moment.
Yeah, man. I just thought that was his whole character. I was like, man, this is a really good, like, well fleshed out character. And just his acting was so fucking good. But of course, when the money comes along or whatever, his arc to me just kind of goes everywhere. I'm just like, oh man, he never changed. He just stayed who he was, and that's why he died. You know.
Yeah.
And especially with the whole what Chadwick said. Chadwick says, oh, this money's going to be for reparations. We're going to give it back to the people. But then Paul is like, nah, man, this is for me. After all that, you know, he was always down with Storm and Norman, you know, ride or die. And then suddenly he's just, I don't know, it just felt off, like the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't enjoy any of those parts, to be like, literally the end of the movie is by far the worst part of the movie. I didn't even like how the French people, the landmine people were there. They came out of nowhere, and I'm just like, these people were irrelevant. They added something to the movie that didn't add anything. They added making the movie worse, and I hated that part.
No, they were German, I believe.
Well, the girl was French.
German. Oh, she was French.
Yeah,
well,
and
the other guy was German.
I don't know.
Yeah,
but I know she was French.
It's funny. The other two were from Black Klansman.
Yeah. And the other guy is the chubby one is Richard Jewell, the latest Clint Eastwood movie.
Yeah, but he was also in Black Klansman.
Yeah, he was the cop. No, he was a KKK guy.
Yeah.
The dumb one. Yeah, but I felt like those landmine people didn't add anything to the movie, and they always, the way they framed them as like, oh, these people are gonna, you know, steal the money from them, because, you know, they were like,
I don't know,
looking at them and like kind of following them type of thing. It felt like it was just, I don't know, it was just stupid. Like the guy was jealous of
Yeah.
the black guy because he was getting close to the French girl. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, dude, there was so much side shit that they were adding. If they would have just kept it to the main 5, even with the son, even though the son was kind of dorky in the beginning, I'm just like, oh man, the way they threw him along and all that shit, it just felt like off. But once you started getting into him and his father, I was like, oh, okay, there's some good shit going on in here.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. There was just so much potential in the first half, in my opinion, and then they just fucked it up completely with the way the story went.
Yeah.
So originally, this was supposed to be a story about like some white Vietnam veterans.
Yeah.
It was written.
It was great in the 90s or something like that.
Yeah,
it was
an
an
old
old
forever
movie.
ago.
Yeah.
And then Spike Lee was like, "Oh shit, let's add this and make it black, and then let's add the history to it." Oh, that's the other thing I liked. I liked that there were a lot of parts in the movie where they would mention stuff and they'll kind of freeze frame and they'll show photographs and show the years.
Mm-hmm.
Like say like, oh, first black. What was it? The dude that jumped on the grenade.
Yeah.
So they talked about that. They showed it. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool because it makes it feel like it's real. It makes it feel like these people are real because they're talking about real events about black history within Vietnam War. Like I thought that was all great.
Yeah.
But it just, yeah, man. If what the first half gave me would have stayed through to the second half, I would have loved this movie. Instead, I'm just kind of like, nah, man.
The movie should have been a character piece instead of the money and the action sequences at the end. It should have just straight up been them coming together and overcoming their life shit that's happening to them and letting go of the past.
Yep. This should have been about exactly that. It should have been getting through your PTSD together, being, what was it? What's the word I'm looking for? Compassionate towards the enemy, checking out what the place looks like now post-war, just everything. Black history, Black Lives Matter. You could have threw all of that in there. Instead, you only put it in the first half. You dabbled it. And then the second half was, like you said, just some random 80s shoot 'em up action betrayal. I'm just like, nah, dude, that's too fucking cartoony.
And then at the end, the typical Spike Lee, he shoves shit down your throat.
I know. I'm like, dude,
you get it.
I'm like, I was feeling all of that in the beginning. You didn't have to shove it in my throat,
Yeah.
but then you make the second half completely different than what the first half was saying, and then you sprinkle it at the end, and I'm like, all right,
but it's the same thing that Spike Lee continues to do. He did the same thing with Black Klansman. The whole movie was great, and you understood what he was trying to say, and then at the end, he just fucking rams it down your throat. I'm just kind of like, Spike, you showed me what you wanted. You told me what you wanted. I don't need you to fucking hand fist it to me now. It's the typical Spike Lee shit that he does.
Yeah. Well, we had that complaint about Black Klansman that the ending was a little not the ending, but the ending before the ending was a little too
happy.
Fantasy. Yeah, it was too happy. Yeah. It's like, yo, what is this? How are you gonna end it like that and then say, oh, okay, here's the real world? It's like, yeah, whatever. That was another thing.
Yeah.
But
apart from that, like you keep saying, the beginning was great. I enjoyed the beginning. But you could definitely tell this movie was an old movie. Just like the other Netflix movie, the Chris Hemsworth one that was pretty old too.
Extraction.
So you could tell that these movies originated with these ideas, and they kept getting kicked down the road until it finally came to fruition.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It shows, man. It shows. Spike Lee lost his fucking thunder, dude. Definitely.
Yeah, maybe. I think I need one more movie for him, because Black Klansman, I enjoyed it.
That is true, but I'm also thinking of like Old Boy. They got shitted on, even though I haven't seen it.
Old Boy was garbage, dude.
Yeah.
God, that movie sucked. Don't watch it. It sucks so much.
I think he's going the way of Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott hasn't made a fucking good movie in forever. I think Spike Lee's done, right? Dude.
I think that Ridley Scott did The Martian. I think that's the last good movie.
You know what? You're right. But then again, he did that other Alien movie.
The Alien was garbage. God damn.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. The acting, I enjoyed the acting, to be honest with you. I don't think there's somebody that kind of upsetted me. Yeah, no. I think
the main guys did good, but there was, I think it was the Vietnamese chick, the one that he had a relationship with.
Oh, here we go. That's
her and the daughter.
Thank you for saying that. Yeah, they sucked. Thanks for saying that, because it reminds me now of some part that I didn't understand in the movie. You know, the Vietnamese chick that kept talking in the radio? I didn't understand that.
Oh, okay. Oh, so that is, you know what it reminds me of, actually? So remember that scene in the Watchmen show?
Yeah.
So the scene in the Watchmen show where they were saying that the Nazis did anti-American propaganda to have the black soldiers fight against them and join them. Where it was like, oh, if you go back, the Americans are going to treat you like garbage. Come join us. We'll protect you. You know, all that shit to try and make the black soldiers defect. They did the same thing in Vietnam. So on the radio, they would say, you know, through their pirate radio, they would also play music for them, the Jimi Hendrix and all that stuff. And then they'll go, oh, hey, black soldier, come with us. You know, we'll it was the same shit. So it was pretty much the stuff that they would listen to that gets them more and more disheartened with America.
Okay, I get it.
Right. So when I saw that, I'm like, it's just like what they did in World War II.
All right. Yeah, because I kind of had an idea of that, but it wasn't really like clicking for me.
Right.
But I did enjoy the vibes there it was giving. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, okay. Oh, so back to the Vietnamese girlfriend. I didn't like her acting. And I thought it was very stupid that this black guy comes into her life again, like comes to visit her. The daughter sees it. They look alike, and still the mother's like, "Oh, I don't know anything about your dad." I'm like, "But that's your moment right there. Like, hey, that was your dad or whatever." I'm just kind of like, that was so stupid, man.
I knew when that happened, I was like, oh, there's going to be a moment at the end where she's going to go, oh, this is your dad. And they did it. And then they used that moment to be the dolly shot that Spike Lee always has.
So bad.
Well,
I did not like that dolly shot.
I personally like those dolly shots.
But
I remember they did it in... But they did it in Black Klansman, you know, where they both have the guns and they're going towards the window.
Yeah.
And I remember in Inside Man, same thing, when Denzel's just there and then he's running through the police crime scene. But I like the dolly shots. I didn't mind that one. It's just everything in the build up to it. I was just like, eh.
It didn't have any power behind it.
Yeah. But
what did you feel about the majority of these guys dying?
There was, I mean, like I said, man, that whole action scene, it was just unnecessary. I didn't want any of the action. I didn't want any of them to die. I wanted them to, especially the one that got hit with the landmine. I was just like, what? Like pigeon toe, dude?
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? And then it's like goofy almost.
Yep. Essentially, it didn't hit. It was goofy.
I almost thought, like, is this a dream sequence? Because it doesn't match the rest of the movie. And even when the other, I guess the French guy, runs into it too and just blows up, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here? It just doesn't match the rest of the movie. I thought this was a commentary on the way black soldiers were treated during Vietnam and just a post-war movie, and suddenly you turned it into, like we keep saying, you just turned it into a not good action movie. I wasn't a fan that this was essentially two movies just patchwork together. I felt like the first half was Spike Lee's movie and the second half was the fucking script that everyone rejected. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too, man. You're exactly right. I think that's exactly.
I'm like, damn. Spike Lee's version of this movie, at least what he added to it, is the only good part of this movie. This second half was not. I wasn't feeling it at all. That's why when everyone keeps saying, "My God, the movie's a masterpiece," I'm like, "You're fucking insane." Did you watch the second half?
I think they were just saying that because of the times.
Yeah, that's why Mike was like, "Oh, I fell asleep." I'm like, "Yeah, I understandably."
Yeah.
And I think even Orlando was like, yo, fuck that, I'm not watching. I'm like,
Orlando
well, yeah,
didn't finish watching it either.
Yeah. It's just, yeah, man.
Yeah. Unfortunately, dude,
unfortunately,
a lot good, but the bad overcomes it for me, in my opinion.
Like you mentioned, it should have been a character piece.
It should have been. Spike Lee should have literally straight up, if he was gonna rewrite this movie like he did, he should have made it a character piece.
Yeah, cut the action, keep the commentary, keep the great dialogue of that first half. One of my favorite scenes actually was when they were on the boat.
Oh.
And then Paul's character is like, no, 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 I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. And then he starts like freaking out and panicking, and they all get around him like, yo, man, you all right? And he's just like, he just started remembering. I was like, yo, this is a powerful ass scene.
Yeah.
Of course, that was still early in the movie. I'm like, damn, this movie's gonna be good. Little did I fucking know. Add another 20 minutes, and I would have been like, yeah, fuck this.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, you're right, man. It sucks, dude, and what could have been, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Any last thoughts?
No, not really. I hope if Spike Lee's gonna keep making shit, which he will, I hope he steps it up. Because I wasn't feeling this one.
Yeah, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let us know what you thought of the Five Bloods. Let us know. Just hit us up, DM, whatever, email, popcornheroes@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
Same old stuff. Till next time.
Bye-bye.